So here's my idea, right? This number that we've just created, it's the feet, okay? It's how many feet there are, right? Which means that what you've got left over, like the 0.413 or the 0.905 or the 0.41 or etc., okay? That's how much of a foot I need to convert to inches, okay? That's how much of a foot I need to convert to inches. So I need just that little bit, right? The leftover bit. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go over to the right a little bit. Not that far. Okay. So I'm going to say leftover bit. That's what I'm going to call it. Okay. Later on, I'm going to show you how to hide all of this. I'm just giving it a name that's descriptive so I know what to do. Okay. So I'm going to say equals, right? And the leftover bit will be the whole height, right? That cell there, D2. And I should take away. Can anyone tell me what to put in? It should be this cell here, right? I was so close. All right. I want to take away all of the feet, all of the whole feet, right? Like that. Okay. So that's 0.41 feet left over. That's the leftover bit, and that'll be 0.9 leftover bit. 41 and so on. Okay. So paste it all the way down. Okay. So look at all these bits, right? So this is how many feet are left over, right? But I want this not in feet, I want it in inches. Okay. So the leftover bit is the actual height minus how many whole feet I can fit into there. Okay. So how do I convert feet into inches? How many feet are there? Sorry, how many inches are there in 1 foot? Do we know? It's 12, right? 12 inches in 1 foot. So to turn this leftover bit into inches, I should I divide or should I multiply? Can I call a friend? I want to take a small number, see it's a decimal number, and I want to make it bigger because when I say 5'9", I've got a whole number. Yeah. So I'm going to say equals, and I'm going to multiply it by 12. That'll turn feet into inches. Okay. Right, I'll put that in again. So I've got that leftover bit, and I'm multiplying it by 12. Okay. Okay. Now I'm actually going to upgrade this a little bit because as you can see, when I hit enter, I've got this weirdo looking decimal. And we still don't say decimals like this. We don't say 5 foot 4.96, right? I guess, what would you say in this situation?
5 foot 4.
Now I think in this case, now this is a bit tricky, 4.96, that's almost 5 inches. Almost 5 inches, right? So I think in this case, I'd say 5'5", right? That's what I'm closest to. I'm actually not closer to 5'4". Okay? So I'm not automatically rounding down here. I'm just rounding, right? So I'm going to upgrade this formula a little bit to do the rounding for me. I'll say round that, and how many decimal places do I want?
None.
I don't want any, 0. Okay? So I'll leave that there for a second. I'll even write it for you. I'm taking that leftover bit, I convert it into inches, firstly, by multiplying by 12, and then secondly, I round it off to no decimal place to a whole number. Yeah.
How come for the other one it rounded down, but this one?
Yes, good question. Can someone answer? Why are we rounding down, always down here, but in this column over here, this is a great question. Why are we just rounding and not rounding down? Let me write it up. Does anyone have an idea?
Because
I'm actually going to let that question sit for a minute because I think it's a really good question. And if you can't answer it, then hold on a second. These are heights. We tell our people our height all the time. This is something we understand. Why can't we wrap our head around why one rounds down and one rounds up or down? I'll let you have a think about it. Let's hit enter and then we'll complete this. Okay, so 5 there, copy it and paste it all the way down like so. And you got something interesting there, which is that goes to a 12, right? Which is actually a whole foot, isn't it? Okay? Let us interpret that in a second. So I have all the inches now. So now to tidy this a bit up, right? What I'm going to do is I don't want any of this decimal rubbish, right? That's not useful to me. So I want you to put your cursor up on the top of this column here, where it says D, okay? If you right click there, a whole bunch of options come up, including hide. Okay, right down the bottom there, you can hide that whole column because it was kind of like our working out, right? But we don't need the working out in the final answer for this. We just want to present it neatly. Okay. So if I hide that one, like so, I can do the same for this column, the F, right? So if I right click on F, and I'll hide that one as well, ta-da! Now, I've got everything nice and neat. I've got 5'5", oops, sorry, 5'5", 5'11", another 5'5", 5'7", 4'1", 6'5", 6'5", and on and on and on. You get the idea, okay? Now there is one last, or two last little funny things here, right? So you got these two. These people who are, well, their heights in feet and inches are kind of unusual, right? What's happened? What's happened here? You're 4'12", but we wouldn't say 4'12", would we? Or 5'12" for that matter. I think we would actually say 5 foot in this case. And in this case we would say 6 foot, right? This is ever so close to actual 6 foot, right? But it just rounded down a little bit, right? So this formula, it's not perfect, but by and large, it's pretty alright. Right? There's 6'1", 6 foot nothing, sorry. There's 5'10", that's me, okay? So we used a whole bunch of formulas in order to generate all that for us, and it does it all automatically. Whether it's 26 people or 260 people or however many, it can do all that work for us. Okay?